love and light to you. My name is Damri Alma at Bay. This is EdenRose, and EdenRose is a way of life. I'm here today to do a very special reading. I've been called very recently to begin channeling messages through tarot and other methods for the collective community that is associated with and included in the Divine National Movement. So, all of my Moors out there who are looking for internal guidance, there is a lot to learn out there. There's a lot that is, there's a lot to be received from Moors who happen to be men. And there's very little to have, online I'm talking about, on YouTube, on this forum, at least from my own study and from my own searching. I find that there is very little to be found from the mothers and the feminine energy in this movement. And it has become part of my life's work. And I have been asked by our ancestors and by eternal beings everywhere out there that communicate with me to begin to channel messages for this community, this collective specifically. I'm very honored. I'm very grateful to have this responsibility. And so with that, I'm going to begin to shuffle the cards. Actually, one more disclaimer. I want to make sure that I say to you that these readings are specifically for the purposes of channeling the messages from our higher selves and our ancestors and from higher realms of being and knowing. The purpose is to channel those messages down and to help us to anchor the energies that we need here on this earth plane in order to move forward with our divine movement. And it is my will that you all receive these messages with a very large attached feeling and vibration of love. And so with that, I'll start. So, I ask for the guidance from my ancestors, from all divine beings who are in alignment with love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I ask that you allow the messages channeled through me today and through these cards to be clear and full of love and light. The first card out of the deck is the Two of Cups. There has been a movement worldwide that movement has been of the balancing of energies here on this earth plane. There are people of all backgrounds, people of all origins who have become a part of this movement. Is an experience that I myself have had the beautiful opportunity of knowing and experiencing and learning from. And it is about to infiltrate this divine and national movement in an exponential very, very, very large way. What I'm talking about is the balancing of feminine and masculine energies, not just between men and women, but also within oneself. It is imperative right now that we begin to look internally, and we begin to not only look where we have been looking and search where we have been searching and learn from where we have been learning from, but it's imperative that we allow others and their studies, their learnings, to begin to, I'm going to add philosophies in there as well, to begin to teach us more about ourselves. Within this movement, I have found, within the Divine National Movement, okay, I have found that it has been incredibly masculine charged. I can't find better words to say that. I have found that the energies that have been put forth into the Divine and National Movement have very much come from a place of linear direction and linear movement. It's very direct. There isn't very much space and time for movement and fluidity in much of the information that is being presented out there. What I'm receiving now is an asking of balance. Within each individual, there is a balance of energy, whether or not you are a woman or you are a man. You have the energies within you that represent both aspects of creation, both female and male, both light and dark, both good and evil. It is not a mistake that evil things occur. It is not a bad thing that there is a darkness within each person. It is only a matter of balancing out the darkness and the light that is necessary here. And in doing so, you also balance out the masculine and feminine energies within oneself and the masculine and feminine energies within our divine calling to bring this energy and this knowing and this new way of being back into the world. Divine partnerships are being manifest. Divine partnerships are being manifest. This is a partnering of oneself with oneself. This is a splitting of one's ego and then a reunion of oneself and one's ego back to a place where the ego and the thoughts that the ego creates and the self and the thoughts that the self creates, where those two energies come together, using both of their strengths and weaknesses to create moving forward. It's going to be very important for us to remember that this is a matriarchal system. It is a matriarchal energy that we are now reintroducing to the world. And with that, we need to understand that there is a shifting of scales that needs to occur, a shifting of balance, a shifting of energy that must and is occurring. And as such, we have to be able to house and maintain that resonance and vibration within ourselves. And so relationship with self and self is incredibly important. This is not just a love story, which I would love for it to be. It is not just a love story. It is a story of love. As we each step into our knowing of self, knowing our nationality, proclaiming our nationality, and being those entities thereafter, it's incredibly important that we recognize ourselves, all aspects included. It's important that we align ourselves with counterparts that not only are in alignment with this divine and national movement, but are also in alignment with the balancing of said energies. Unconditional love is a funny thing. Unconditional love allows oneself to be oneself in all areas, in all aspects, at all times. It also allows for others to be themselves in all ways, all aspects, at all times. Unconditional love says, I have love, I hold space, I see you, I support you, regardless of your choices, regardless of the energy you choose to create for yourself. If you choose to create energy that is not in alignment with balance, with love, with truth, with peace, justice, that's fine and dandy. I still hold space for you here where those vibrations exist. It's important for us to start, many of us to continue to practice unconditional love. It is important that we do not take the old ways of the structures and confines and creations that this matrix has taught us to be, those ways of being, those habits of behavior. It is imperative that we do not step into this new energy with those old ways of being. It is imperative that we do not teach our children to attain and receive and encompass these new lessons and these new energies by ways of indoctrinating them. This world is about the law of attraction. Every entity, every molecule, every atom, every single one in existence attracts onto itself what it already gives in vibration. And with that said, it's very important that we remind ourselves of this fact. Truth is truth, yes, but we have an opportunity to create not only what we already had, but a more balanced way of being. The history that we are most connected to is the time space that is closest to our time space now. But where we come from is a space where balance is a general vibration experienced by all. And so if we do not find this balance, this vibrational balance this yin and yang, up and down, hot and cold, allowing of things to occur. If we do not ask ourselves and if we do not ask ourselves to be in alignment with balance, if we do not invite light and dark, if we do not encompass both yin and yang energies within each of us, then we will not accomplish what we are here to set out for. We will not accomplish what we have set out to do. We will not accomplish what energies need to be set and grounded and rooted and anchored. Knowledge is one thing, but knowing is another. Knowing. You can attain knowledge, you can hold it in your hand, you can read it in a book, you can hear it from someone's mouth. But to know is something entirely different. And knowing only comes about with experience. And so as we experience these new ways of teaching our children and adding onto our collective knowledge, our collective consciousness, it is incredibly important that we take into account all things, light and dark. It is important that we take into account all energies, male and female, positively charged and negatively charged. And it is imperative that we balance those energies and use both in order to create moving forward. We also need to protect ourselves from those beings who are in opposition of this divine and national movement. And in order to protect ourselves best, we will need to be able to rendezvous and exist in their dark realms. And while existing in those dark realms, we must continue to hold the light within us. So that is going to take practice. And balance is where we attain those skills. Holding the light within us whilst being in this dark creation. We have a lot of cleaning up to do. We have a ton of cleaning up to do. Many of us have raised our children in this new consciousness and this new understanding of who we are. However, they've still been indoctrinated in many ways into the various different houses of belief system that are already here. And so, as I was saying, it's imperative that we attain this balance of light and dark in order to create this world where choice, vibrational, energetic choice, is at the heart. It's very imperative that we do not teach others how to come into this space and exist in this world, this new world we're creating, by using old tactics of the old world, because that is how the old world is going to anchor itself within our new space and our new world. We need to clean up, throw in the trash what's ready to go, and dispose of that shit. Dispose of it, burn it, not throw it in the ocean, not create a garbage pile over there to stink up the planet later on. We're not creating more problems and issues. We are creating solutions. And so everything of that old world, of that old space, needs to be demolished, needs to be burned. How do we burn it? It's not a physical burning. We cannot do the same things they did to us. That will only create more of what they created, and we're not about that. This divine and national movement is about creating a new space, a new world. The burning of this old world has to do with, like I said, remembering not to bring those old things with us to this new space. Leave them be. Let them exist in that space. They were, that's fine. Thank you for teaching us to not be there and to choose this instead. Thank you. And the next step is to create solution. The next step is to align yourself, your heart space. Not just the mind, not just the knowledge, but your heart, who you are. The next step is to align that with the energy of love. And in that space is where solutions will be provided. It's where solutions will be granted. Gratitude is imperative. Gratitude is imperative. Gratitude and forgiveness. Because in gratitude, the vibration of love exists on a grand scale. When your heart space is in gratitude, you then create less resistance to what is unwanted, and you create more space for what is wanted. Staring at the parts of this creation that we no longer want or need, pointing at them and saying how wrong they are, highlighting how long it's been, highlighting all of the injustices, talking about it, thinking about it, posting about it, commenting about it, liking it. All that does is create more of what it is. Your energy, your focus on it creates more of it. Your focus on it creates more of it. And so gratitude is imperative. It is not as if we can just say, turn a blind eye and ignore it. I understand. This isn't something that's easy to do, but to a degree we must. We must turn a blind eye to what is, and focus only on what will be. If we're going to focus on what is, find the silver lining and focus there. If you're going to focus on what is, find the gratitude and focus there. If you're going to focus on what is, find love and focus there. Find the best parts of it and focus there. Don't focus on the rest of it. Leave the rest of it for everyone else to breathe and speak into existence. But if this divine and national movement is actually going to step forward and grow and expand the way we need it to, the way we want it to, we're going to have to become vibrational experts, not just historical experts, not just law experts. We must also become vibrational experts. Vibration, resonance, focus, I call it, thought, emotion. It all means and is the same thing. And so in closing, I'd like to say that you are loved. You are so loved, it is not possible to portray in human language the girth, the size, the weight, the immenseness of the love that surrounds you from all directions. You are loved, you are supported, you are divinely guided. That's why you're here watching this video. Stay in this space of love. Stay in this space of unconditional love. That is where the solutions are found. That is where they are created. That is where they are manifest. Focus your mind on solution by focusing your mind on love and abundance and gratitude. I love you dearly. I'm so grateful and so happy to be able to bring these messages forward. Peace, love, and light to you. Ashe.